questions I never give keep me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. Is it not coming through? Because we had it a second ago. It's just really loud. What?
But anyway, well, I'll tell you all about it. But yeah. So and sometime I'll show you pictures. I just a few pictures. But I heard your puppy was in the water all the way up to his belly. Who learned to swim? He only did it once. That's okay. But he did it. Right. Thanks for the heads up, Dan. Getting the word, it'll be a couple minutes. How are you? Thanks. While we're waiting, if you'll silence your phone, please. Reminder in case you didn't think of it.
Testing, testing. Not yet? Okay. Testing, 1, 2, 3. There it is. I think we're on now.
Make sure this isn't, so it's gonna make noise.
Okay. I think, yeah, thanks. Let me know when, okay? Good morning. My name is Kathy Frazee, and on behalf of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Flint, I welcome you this morning. The ministers and congregation of UUCF are delighted that you chose to join us, whether you are in the sanctuary or joining us online. It is special this morning to welcome back our co-ministers, Reverend Jerry Kerr and Reverend Lynn Kerr. They are returning to the pulpit following some well-deserved vacation and study time, and it's good to see you both. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Flint is a progressive LGBTQ affirming religious community. If you would like to know more about Unitarian Universalism and or this congregation, please talk with one of our ministers today or contact them through uuflint.org. If you're a visitor today, we encourage you to join us downstairs for coffee hour in our social hall following the service. We would love to get to know you and answer any questions you may have. You can also consider signing up for our e-newsletter. It will fill you in on Sunday services and activities that the people of UUCF are involved in. An easy way to sign up for the newsletter is to scan the QR code on the back of your order of service, or you can fill out one of these cards in the seat back in front of you and drop it at the table at the back of the sanctuary. And now we are supposed to have one announcement, but this is UUCF. We have 3 now, so you can find the information on one of the announcements on the back of, maybe more than one, on the back of your order of service. Members of our congregation continue to demonstrate on Sundays at the Peace Triangle on the corner of Ballinger and Miller. Everyone is welcome to join them. They typically rally from 1 to 2 p.m., but you can come early or stay later. Park here at the church. The group states that they gather to support our positive ideals and build the future we want to see. If you have questions, please see the organizers, Jim Newtown, Terry Cross, or Chris Monk. I think Chris is here today, so we can see. Okay, yeah, and Terry's here. Also, from the search committee, they would like you to save the date of Saturday, September 27th. They are providing a special workshop called Breaking Barriers and Building Beliefs. It should be a special one. And also, if you haven't filled out your congregational survey yet, you can go online and check your email for that. And Raina Bick will have paper copies if you'd like to do that today. Check it off your to-do list. It's really important. They really want your input, and it will help with the search, make the best match possible. We will now light our chalice. As we light our chalice, look around this church. Remember the times your life was enriched by being here. Feel the events that have touched and sustained you. Imagine what a difference we might make in the lives of others today and tomorrow. And now if you'll join me in reciting our covenant. Recognizing the richness of diversity, the beauty and wonder of shared worship, and the transforming power of love and service. We gather as a sacred, intentional community to freely seek knowledge and truth, to celebrate the fullness of life, and by our actions to increase goodness and justice.
Good morning. Good morning. Very happy to see all of you. We have gathered here in search of answers to hard questions. We have come in search of understanding, in search of community. We have come in search of hope and healing. Let this be a place not only of searching, but of discovery.
You can stand if you like. You can sit if you like. Hymn number 114. must labor till our faith is signed. Prophets have proclaimed it, martyrs testified, poets sung its glory, heroes for it died. Forward through the ages in unbroken line, move the faithful spirit at the call divine. Not alone we conquer, not alone we fall. For each loss or triumph, lose or triumph all, bound by God's far purpose in one living whole, move we on together to the shining goal. Forward through the ages in unbroken line, move the faithful spirit at the call divine.
A little background on that song. Probably most UU ministers have that as their opening hymn at their ordinations. I know I had it at mine. I don't remember if we had it at yours. We probably did. I think we sang it at least. And the pictures that you saw during the prelude were all very well-known, famous Unitarian and Universalist ministers. Obviously, you made just a slight mistake and forgot us. But that's okay. It's probably better not to be known. So during our musical meditation, please feel free to light candles of joy or concern up front, in the back, and of course you can always write in the book in the rear as well, and we will publicize your joy or concern in the newsletter. Our words for meditation today are from a poem for youth entitled The Search, written by Shel Silverstein. I went to find a pot of gold that's waiting where the rainbow ends. I searched and searched and searched and searched and searched and searched, and then there it was, deep in the grass, under an old and twisty bough. It's mine, it's mine, it's mine at last. What do I search for now? Let us enter into the silence.
Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Our reading today is a famous, romantic, idealized version of what a minister can be. It was written by Oliver Goldsmith way back in 1770, and any modern-day minister who says they don't fantasize that the words apply to them lies. Thus, to relieve the wretched was his pride, and even his failings leaned to virtue's side. But in his duty, prompt at every call, he watched and wept and prayed and felt for all. And as a bird, each fond endearment tries to tempt its new fledgling offspring to the skies. He tried each art, reproved each dull delay, allured to brighter worlds, and led the way. Beside the bed where parting life was laid, and sorrow, guilt, and pain by turns dismayed, the Reverend champion stood. At his control, despair and anguish fled the struggling soul. Comfort came down, the trembling wretch to raise, and his last faltering accents whispered praise. At church, with meek and unaffected grace, his looks adorned the venerable place. Truth from his lips prevailed with double sway, and fools who came to scoff remained to pray.
Expressions I never give keep me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. I've been to Hollywood, I've been to Redwood, I crossed the ocean for a heart of gold. I've been in my mind, it's such a fine line, keeps me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. Keeps me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. I wanna live, I wanna give. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. It's these expressions I never give that keep me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. a heart of gold. Keep me searching and I'm growing old. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. I've been a miner for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old.
As most of you know, this congregation has begun a search for a new minister or ministers. Now, there were times when finding that rare, blue-footed, red-crested, purple-tailed, perfect person was not quite as difficult. It was a simpler age when there was just a handful of ministers to choose from. Days when a candidate's true qualifications and personality were much easier to detect. This is clearly illustrated in the report of an ancient ministerial search committee that submitted its report regarding its final candidates. Adam, good man, maybe marital issues. One reference mentioned frequent nudity in the woods. Noah, prone to unrealistic building projects, maybe more partial to animals than parishioners. Solomon, great preacher, but we could never afford to insure all his wives and children. Jonah, in initial call, told us that his call to ministry occurred after being swallowed by a great fish. We hung up. Paul, powerful CEO type, short on tact and can be a little unforgiving, has been known to preach all night. Judas, solid references, excellent connections, experience with finance, real possibilities. He's been invited to preach next week. These days, the process is somewhat more complicated, but it need not feel like the search for the lost city of Atlantis. Jerry and I thought that we might be able to ease some anxiety that you might have about the search itself or a new minister. Now, you've heard it before. Being a UU is not easy. We don't hand you a theology, nor does the denomination hand you a minister. We are governed by congregational polity, and at its most basic level, it means that you all as members control all aspects of the church, and that includes choosing your own minister. Believe it or not, somebody 7 years ago decided that you wanted Jerry and Lynn. Now, it's a perk, really, to be able to choose your own minister, but it's also a great responsibility. The good news is that you all have elected 7 people to represent you and the wide ranges of perspectives, ages, and backgrounds here. Now, the committee's work is a little like treasure hunting, I think, but unlike Atlantis, the adventure will result in a discovery, a new minister. Now, am I comparing our search to that of a lost civilization? Kind of. Albeit ours doesn't include trampling through the most dense forests teeming with biting insects, deadly snakes, and life-threatening flesh-eating diseases. I couldn't help but see some parallels between our ministerial search and that of the true account of the search for the white city in the Honduran rainforest that I read about while I was on vacation. The Lost City of the Monkey God by Douglas Preston describes the search for the abandoned pre-Columbian city, the Lost or White City.
I think we have a slide for that, Haley.
There it is, great. Indigenous people had spoken of a paradise-like city with great riches for 500 years. But they also said it was cursed. Now we know they said it was cursed because it was due to the diseases that Europeans had brought to the indigenous people. But the Spanish conquistadors were not deterred from searching for it, nor were many, many others, but no one ever found this mysterious city. Thus, there was some speculation whether this city even existed, or was it just simply a myth? Archaeologists had all but forgotten about it. But early in the 20th century, as legends like El Dorado and the actual discovery of Machu Picchu were made, expeditions became popular again, especially in the United States and England. The real adventurers were especially interested in journeying to the relatively untouched Amazon region. One of the most ambitious groups ventured into the rainforest in the 1940s. And they returned with thousands of artifacts that they claimed were from the White City. Unfortunately, the leader died before revealing the exact location. It would take 3/4 of a century for his claims to be substantiated. And some people still doubt that they were from the Lost City. Similarly, a few of you have expressed some doubts about whether you can find a minister that is right for you. It is true that there are more positions that are open than there are ministers to fill them. And realistically, not every minister dreams of serving a small church in Flint, Michigan. But your energetic, intelligent, and well-trained committee is not only charged with finding a minister that is the best fit, they are also charged with selling this place. They will sell the church, its people, the community, and Flint and the surrounding area as a great place to live and work, and say this place has a lot to offer. So have faith, please, that there are ministers, just like us, that will see that this is a very desirable place to be. Now, the search committee does all of this by showing people on the outside what we're all about. So there's this congregational survey that was mentioned earlier. Really important to answer those questions. There will also be individual and group conversations. There's going to be a lot of data that's compiled. And then relatively soon after that, the survey results, pictures, stories, UUCF history and finances, and Flint area demographics, and all the cultural opportunities that we have will go onto a website designed just for ministers who are looking for a church. At the same time, ministers who are looking will be putting together a similar website that talks all about their experience as a minister. The websites are the initial point of contact. Now, in the old days, some of you may have gone through this, you may have been on search committees. How many people have been on a search committee at a church? A lot, okay. So some of you may remember that all of this information, instead of on websites, used to come in the exchange of gigantic 3-ring binders. The postage itself was amazing. And copies, you'd make copy after copy. Well, maybe one good things that came out of COVID is that it made electronic exchanges a necessity. Once everybody got used to this new technology and all these online resources, everything changed about how we search for ministers. So now we use websites, and we also don't have to travel to go hear someone preach. Most churches have their services online. So what happens is a prospective minister can electronically show people who they are. Overall, the searches become a little bit less expensive and a lot faster and less complicated logistically. So just as ministerial searches begin with technology, so did the search for the White City. Steve Elkins, who was a cinematographer and an adventurer, had been looking for the White City for over 20 years. Then he read an article about LIDAR. LIDAR is light detection and ranging. It had been used to map a previously undiscovered Mayan city in Belize. Now, LIDAR had been developed in 1961, but it had only been used in aerial archaeological mapping since 1996, so it was relatively new. Elkins was sure that the technology would finally help him find his objective. Preparing for the 2 weeks of mapping in the spring of 2012, he acquired an old beat-up Cessna that fit just a pilot and the $1 million LIDAR equipment. Elkins involved the least amount of people he could to ensure his chances of being the only team to reach the White City. Now, confidentiality also happens to be an essential part of the search process for a minister as well. The committee won't share any names of ministers with you until they are ready to have them meet the congregation. It's important because, guess what? We're a small denomination, and many people and ministers know one another. Some ministers that apply may not have told their congregation that they're considering leaving. Confidentiality also ensures that the committee can work without outside influence or unintended bias. It also protects ministers who may be interested in more than one church. Now, confidentiality was essential also in the search for the lost city. There were a lot of teams who wanted to find it. But when Elkins saw that his LIDAR showed likely structures within the deep jungle overgrowth, he knew that he must not tell anyone but those people on his team, and he needed to get on the ground quickly. Well, in archaeology, such discoveries are not valid until they were ground truthed, meaning you saw it for yourself right there on the ground. It took until 2015 to get his group together, but in 2015, archaeologists, a LIDAR engineer, an anthropologist, an ethnobotanist, documentary filmmakers, support personnel, 16 soldiers for protection, and a National Geographic photographer and a writer all went old school, and they set off on foot to find the city. Now, although our search committee will use every technology available to help find a new minister, they too are eventually going to have to go old school. And that means that when they finally narrow down candidates to the minister that they think is the one, old school comes in and they will meet them in person. They will talk to them. They will interact with them. They'll be on the ground. Eventually, the candidate will also meet with all of you and preach here. And eventually, at the very end, you'll all vote as to whether you'd like to call that person as your minister. Like an expedition, it is not always easy work. And I think sometimes the committee might feel like it's out in the jungle all alone. You can support them by encouraging them in their work and thanking them for the devotion they give. Sometimes only trudging through the rough forest gets you the prize. As they sort through surveys and websites, attend committee meetings, go to workshops, conduct Zoom interviews, call references, and negotiate contracts, please give them grace. Some archaeologists were unhappy with Elkin's discovery because they thought he had cheated by using his technology. He hadn't initially found the city the traditional way, and therefore they felt his results could be invalidated. In this ministerial search, you may not all be happy with parts of the process, but perhaps you can keep the end goal in mind. You are going to have a new minister. Whether in search of a mysterious city or a rare blue-footed minister, the searchers are devoted to their mission, and they work for the good of all. And in the end, the blood, the sweat, and the tears are going to be worth it.
A long time ago, in a land far, far away, some Puritans were in a sweat. This long time ago was 1648, and the land that was far, far away was New England. And in 1648, that was almost another galaxy from that of their original home in Old England. They were worried because they had learned that a group of their fellow Puritans, still back in England, were saying that to be a real church, you had to be governed by a centralized council of elders known as presbyters. They said, going out on your own in the new world is unchristian. Well, the New Englanders had seen what happened to religion when it was ruled by a small group of powerful people who lived far, far away. So they wiped the sweat from their brows, sat down and wrote a justification for their way of being. It was called the Cambridge Platform. It's a platform on which we stand today. You can get it online for free, of course, and read it. You'll find that on page 8 it says that John Helsum will mow our churchyard until he's 95. And then he can retire. Page 8, you can check me out. But seriously, it is this platform on which we stand today. And it explains how Unitarian Universalists and their fellow almost UUs, that is, congregational churches and the United Church of Christ, how they evolved into very progressive Christians or even into more than Christians. To put it in an accurate and rather amazing nutshell, this Cambridge Platform said churches can reserve the right to run themselves and pick their own ministers. In the coming months, this congregation will do just that. And of course, it's possible that at times you will grow frustrated and say, please, will some powerful bishop or committee from a land far, far away just send us a minister? We are tired of searching. But after a good night's rest, and remembering that our congregational tradition is 400 years old, you will wipe the sweat off of your brow and go back to it. And this includes the entire congregation, who will at some point be called upon to listen to prospective ministers preach from this pulpit. Everyone plays a role in this. In preparing for this service, Lynn and I quickly recognized the pitfalls in advising a congregation on how to find a rare, perfect, or at least almost perfect minister. After all, a bricklayer, when asked to describe the perfect bricklayer, will inevitably describe all of their own traits and techniques. That can either be very helpful or very embarrassing. It was also tempting to start listing the 10 traits of effective church leaders. Good communication skills, empathetic, decisive, a good listener. You know the list. And it's an important list, and you have to consult it. There's nothing wrong with the checklist approach to finding a new minister. But how do you do the math when comparing candidates? It can get complicated. For example, do good listening skills of one candidate outweigh the good motivational skills of another candidate who doesn't know how to stop talking and listen? That's a very common thing for ministers, just heads up. So is there another way to decide yes or no about a prospective minister, in addition to weighing the facts of evidence provided by a checklist? I think so. But an example from history is necessary to describe it, or you will think I'm crazy if you don't already. I think most people would agree. Albert Einstein had a good handle on using the facts of physics. And we have a slide here. Now, I hope this doesn't gross you out. Yes, that is Einstein's brain. Both sides of it. He donated it to science. Luckily, it was a great gift. He was a genius, of course. And his brain is significantly different in several ways, but mainly because the two hemispheres are unusually well connected. It appears he had ready access to all ways of thinking and being, ready access to his whole mind, a factor that could explain his nearly unequaled brilliance. Einstein may have described the effect of his well-balanced whole brain when he said, "The only real valuable thing is intuition." The only real valuable thing is intuition? For a person of his intelligence to downgrade the value of knowing all of the facts and say that intuition, instinct, the gut feeling hunch were more valuable than facts, that gets your attention. Another great physicist of our time, Stephen Hawking, also acknowledged the importance of intuition in arriving at new ideas. Hawking said, "Often you have to rely on your intuition." Now, of course, choosing a new minister isn't astrophysics. In some ways, it may be more difficult. But I think it is also best done with the whole mind. And the whole mind includes the careful use of well-trained intuition. In effect, that could take the scenario of the search committee saying, we've weighed all of our candidates. Some of them are very close, but how do they feel? What does our intuition tell us, and then you go right back to the facts. It's in a dynamic interchange. You don't go out on a limb and say, well, I feel, without saying why. It can be a fragile thing. And social scientists and cognitive scientists have found that people who have a good command of the facts are the ones who can best use their intuition. They're grounded in reality, the hard facts of candidates in this case, but then they start asking themselves, but what do we feel? You can do some amazing math with that gut feeling as long as you keep checking it with your rational self. So this suggestion of using your gut feeling now and then doesn't need to make everyone feel uncomfortable. Psychologists almost uniformly condemn using intuition alone when making hiring decisions or choosing a mate. So we know the dangers and also the benefits of using one's gut feeling. And history is filled with examples of people like Einstein and Hawking who counsel us to put our rational command of facts together with our ability to go beyond them, to find the truth, or in our case, to find a good minister. It's not magic or foolish guesswork. Einstein said intuition was a sacred gift, while the rational mind, he said, was a faithful servant. This is one of the reasons why Einstein has often been called a religious physicist. This talk that we might call mystical, magical, made some people uncomfortable, but yet he explained it well. And those pensive New England Puritans back in 1648 probably didn't realize it, but their decision to go out on their own, that decision to take on congregational polity guaranteed that they would use all of the human potential for getting at the truth without needing the religious doctrines of a land far, far away. Put another way, if people are truly allowed to work together and they cooperate, they are like the halves of a well-connected brain. Working together, they have Einstein's brain. In effect, that is what happened in 1629 when the Salem, Massachusetts church wrote, "We covenant with the Lord and one with another, and do bind ourselves in the presence of God, to walk together in all his ways, according as he is pleased to reveal himself unto us in his blessed word of truth." The covenants of many other New England churches said the same thing. We will figure it out ourselves. They believed that the Spirit of God would somehow speak directly to them, and they reserved the right to figure out the meaning themselves. Today, we might well call it, as Einstein did, sacred intuition. Intuition plus reason working together. Whatever we call it, whatever you call it, it made us what we are. People walking together, putting our reasonable, intuitive heads together, and deciding what religion should be. So what did all of this intuition plus religion do? What did it look like down through the centuries? It was birthed by the Cambridge Platform. And then in 1832, it caused 150 churches of the Puritans and Pilgrims to deny the innate sinfulness of humanity and the doctrine of the Trinity, and thereby they became Unitarian. Then in the 1840s, it allowed the welcoming of the Transcendentalists, who were not good Christians and who believed even more strongly in the power of intuition. The Unitarian headquarters of the day hated Transcendentalists like Emerson and Theodore Parker. But our free congregations, choosing their own ministers, some of whom were Transcendentalists, guaranteed a haven for new ways of being religious. Then in the 1890s, Unitarians, their congregational freedoms still intact, decided that people no longer had to profess to be Christian to be a member of a Unitarian church. In the 1800s, most of it, you had to say you believed in the Lordship of Jesus Christ to get into a Unitarian church. That ended. All of that change and more happened in the 240 years between 1648 and 1890. The Cambridge platform that said people can walk together and figure out what religion should be and who should stand in the pulpit, that platform wasn't just a sturdy, safe place to stand. It was a launch pad for the evolution of our faith. And all of this history and tradition makes the process of finding the next minister more than just a big job. It gives us a sense of being grateful for this responsibility and for being part of a proud history. It reminds us that our faith, in every decade and century, has been made by thousands of minds across America, making decisions together over many years, discovering the will of God, or the path of nature, or whatever they called it in their time. Unitarian Universalism has never been defined by people in some land far, far away. Instead, it is defined, created by thousands of UUs working it out in every decade, working it out for themselves. Meeting every week, eating together, fixing the roof, saving their dollars, mowing the lawn, and choosing a new minister themselves. Thank you.
I invite you to stand, if willing and able, for hymn number 34. Though I may speak with bravest fire, and have the gift to all inspire, but have not love, my words are vain, as sounding brass and bootless gain. Though I may give all I possess, and striving so my love profess, but not begin by love within, the prophet soon turns strangely thin. Come, Spirit, come, our hearts control. Our spirits long to be made whole. Let inward love guide every deed. By this we worship and are free.
As we approach this time for generosity, give what you will for the church that has meaning to you, and to those who came before you, and for the church that will have meaning to people you will never know. Give what you will, for you are a generous people. Please place your gift in the basket at the back of the church as you leave, or online at uuflint.org. Every gift is gratefully accepted.
In the book The Hobbit, Gandalf the wizard tells Bilbo he needs help.
Bilbo, I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure I'm arranging. It's very difficult to find anyone.
I should think so in these parts. We hobbits are plain, quiet folk and have no use for adventures. Nasty, disturbing, uncomfortable things. Make you late for dinner.
Yes, but be that as it may, I see only brave hobbits here, so I'm sure they must be ready for the adventure of a search, and so a blessing before that search. May the wind under your wings bear you where the sun sails and the moon walks. Let us extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we look back again.
Day by day, people getting ready for the new. Some are happy, some are sad. Oh, let the music play. What the people need is a way to make them smile. Ain't hard to do if you know how. Gotta get a message, get it on through. Oh, mama's gone too after a while. Oh, listen to the music. Oh, listen to the music. Oh, listen to the music all the time. Well, I know you know better everything I say. Meet me in the country for a day. We'll be happy and we'll dance. Whoa, we're gonna dance the blues away. And if I'm feeling good to you and you're feeling good to me, there ain't nothing we can do or say. Feeling good, feeling fine. Oh, baby, let the music play. Whoa, 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 listen to the music. Whoa, whoa, listen to the music. Whoa, whoa, listen to the music all the time. Like a lazy flowing river, surrounding castles through the sky. And the crowd is growing bigger. Listen for the happy sounds, got to let them fly. Whoa, whoa, listen to the music. Whoa, whoa.